Hey guys, this is Manifesting Better, and I'm back with another video and another topic that needs to be addressed. I also have an Instagram account, the link for that is in the description box below. Coaching is also available, the link for that too is in the description box below. Now, today's topic is something that is not usually talked about in the manifestation community, but people do worry about this. And I have seen this with many people actually, and a lot of clients, that they get stuck into a pattern and then they get stuck into a situation, and they know that it's a pattern, they know that it's a situation that they are stuck in, but they don't have a way out of it. And what happens is that we try affirmations, we try visualization, we try different techniques, and eventually we get back into the same pattern again. So today I will be explaining this. I know that this will be a little bit of a complex topic, so anything that comes up, any questions that come up, please leave them down in the comments below related to this video, and I will try to make further posts on Instagram or videos here about it. Right. So the topic is how to break a pattern while manifesting. For that, the first thing that we need to understand is what is a pattern. Well, a pattern is a situation that we get involved in a similar way that we did before. So let's say it doesn't even have to be with the same person, it can be with different people. So let's say in a relationship there is a pattern that I always get cheated on, or let's say there in a job there is a pattern that my boss is always angry at me, or let's say with money I always have a pattern that I keep getting it and it keeps going away. Now this can be with the same things, so it can be the same boss that I get good with him, then he gets angry at me, then I get good with him, then he gets angry at me. Or it can be with the same person that I get into a relationship, this person comes in a hot and cold manner, so they come, we get involved, then they again want friends with benefits, then we start talking again, then we get involved, then there is again some friends with benefits situation. Or it can be with a third party that we get involved with someone, they always have someone new. And this pattern can also be with not a specific person, but with a specific, in a specific area of life. So for example, it's not one person, but every girl that I get involved in with has a friends with benefits kind of situation with me. Or every boss, every job that I go to, the boss is always angry at me, or I never have a good connection with my coworkers no matter where I go to. In any business I start or in any venture I start, money is always back and forth. So it can be a pattern that is in a similar in one specific area, or it can be a pattern with a one specific person or a one specific situation, right? But this is what a pattern is. Now, to understand how to break a pattern, we first need to understand how a pattern is formed. So usually how a pattern is formed is that we generate a belief because of some experience or because of some external thing or because of something about ourselves. So let's say I develop a belief that I am not good enough, right? That's the first part. Now what happens is that because of that belief, my actions act accordingly. So I start acting on that. I start acting on that belief that I am not good enough. Maybe I start people pleasing. Maybe I start overextending myself. Maybe I start multiply texting someone. Maybe I start chasing someone. Maybe I start stalking someone, and just saying yes all the time even when I want to say no. And the third thing that happens is that results in having smaller boundaries. So let's say that person wants to be with me but are not able to offer me any commitment, and I hate that. But because I think that that is what I have to do in order to get something, or because there is this belief in my mind that this is the extent of what I deserve, I keep going with that, right? Let's say a pattern in a job can be I have a belief that I am not worthy enough for a good job, or maybe I'm not qualified enough. And because of that, what I do is I don't even apply to good jobs, I apply to smaller jobs. Or maybe the good jobs that I apply to, I always mess up the interview in some way, shape, or form, right? And what happens is that when the boss screams at me, I don't have any boundaries. I never stand up for myself because there is this belief in me that I don't deserve this job, or if I lose this job I won't get any better one. Like I won't get a better one. Now, where there is the issue here, and what we, so now this is till this level people come, right? So people come to this level sometimes on their own. They realize that, all right, this is the mindset that I have, these are the patterns, this is the action that I take, and these are the boundaries that I have related to that pattern. And now they start to get into manifestation. And what they do, and this is where the mistake happens. We try to change one part of it. So we try to change the belief aspect of it, right? We try to change the mindset, which means that if we have a mindset that I'm not good enough, I start trying to change that mindset. I start doing affirmations, I start sleeping with night tapes on, then I start visualizing or whatever it is, and then I expect things to change. But usually what happens is that things don't change, and that is why I get frustrated, that why are things not changing? I have been doing everything that is required of me, but things are still not changing, and that frustration then keeps manifesting more. So it becomes another cycle, it becomes another pattern in itself, right? But the issue is that it was never an issue of a mindset. Mindset was just one part of it. It was a threefold issue: mindset with action with a lack of boundaries, which means that people who usually work on their mindset get stuck because their actions are still the same. Their boundaries are still the same. They still are not standing up for themselves. They still are, behaving as a person. They still are people pleasing. They still are overextending themselves, which means that it's not that the pattern is not being broken, it's that you're only at the start of it. You are developing a new mindset, right? You're developing a new mindset, but that is where you are ending, which means that you're not continuing it to the action level, and you're not continuing it to the boundary level, right? So you are starting a new mindset, but you're not changing your actions and your boundaries accordingly. So for example, it would be that, let's say I get involved in a pattern of a friends with benefits situation, and let's say I break out of that pattern. I start to understand that, and I start to change my mindset about it. But then, and every time someone tries to come into a committed relationship with me, I pull back because I'm afraid. Or every time someone offers me a friends with benefits situation, I still accept it because somewhere I don't think that, uh, because even though I'm trying to instill that belief, I still don't act on it. So that is not solidified in any way, shape, or form. How can it change then, right? It's more like, even though the mindset behind it is changing, but how can the thing change if my action according to that is not changing, if my boundary is not changing, right? This is where the issue becomes. Now, how to break the pattern then? First thing that it comes down to is find the root of the pattern. Find out where the pattern is actually coming from. What is the reason I am involved in this pattern? It might be some experience, it might be some story someone told you, it might be some thing that you saw in the physical world, it might be a belief that you got it from a movie or a book or something. It's very normal for, watching teenage movies and understanding that, oh, love is supposed to be toxic. Or you maybe saw someone in your world, in the physical world, get into a situation like this, and it always stuck with you. Whatever it is, after you find out the root of the pattern, you need to identify what is the mindset that I am embodying and carrying based on this pattern. Then, what are the actions that I'm taking that are solidifying this pattern in my life? And what are my boundaries that are still not according to the new mindset that I'm trying to inculcate in my mind? Which means that, let's say I'm trying to develop a belief that I am good enough or I am worthy of love, let's say. And after that, I will not be acting as a person who will be chasing someone on text or stalking them. That will be the action. And let's say someone comes to me and they offer me a friends with benefits situation. I will not be accepting it because somewhere I know that I want the full relationship, right? I will not be dropping my boundary in any way, shape, or form. Now, this will differ from person to person and situation to situation, but I think you get the gist. After you identify the pattern, what the best thing to do is to start small, which means finding out the smaller actions that are not so threatening to your brain, that are not so uncomfortable for you, that you can inculcate in your daily life, that can implement the new pattern, the new mindset. So let's say I developed a belief that I am good enough. So what is the smallest action that I can start with that solidifies that belief? Right? Maybe I can start to say no to some friends. It can start from there. But when you will start to get into the smaller changes, the bigger changes will be a result of that. So you will have the courage, you will have the comfortable zone, and you will have the experience to get into bigger changes. You can also start practicing on other things. So let's say I have an issue with standing up in front of my boss. Let's say I can start with standing up in front of my friends, right? Let's say I can develop a habit of standing up in front of my friends. And as I develop that habit, I will get into a habit of doing that on a regular basis. And then maybe I can implement that with my current situation, that is the real issue that I have. I know that this video got a little bit complicated and it's a deeper video, a little bit longer too. So I would recommend you guys to go through this 2-3 times, understand what I'm trying to say here, try to implement this in your life. Any questions that you have, leave it down in the comments below. I will either make a video of it or I will make a post of it on Instagram. On my Instagram, I do a weekly Q&A session. So if you want to ask a question there, you can put that, I think, that notification thing on so that you get the notifications when I'm putting up a Q&A, right? So that because I answer only the first 20 to 25 questions, so that your question gets answered. I will be posting again this week. So I will see you guys in the next video. I really intend that you guys have a good day.